Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and I'm really excited about this video. I'm here with Drew from Akusha Collectibles down in Dallas, Texas. Normally they're from the Houston area. They drove over and bought a bunch of coins today from a local dealer up here. So how much did you spend, Drew? By the way, thanks for being here, but what did you spend? And this isn't everything.
Yeah, happy to be here. This is a small portion of what we bought. I only spent about $13,000 with a local dealer named Ted. Really great guy.
So yeah, going to be fun to go through some of the highlights, and I guess on an overarching perspective, what was your mentality with this buy? Are these coins that you already are looking to place in an auction, or you're trying to just hold them for a long time in your own personal collection, or like how did you approach buying this stuff?
So a lot of these are for our retail customers, people that spend around $1,000 and under, and there's some that are a little bit over that, and those really work out with dealers, and so it's just dependent on coins, but mainly just selling them off the bat to the person that would pay the most.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to go through them, and I think we'll start on the left here with this Proof 66 Cameo. So for those of you who are newer, that's going to be the contrast between, the devices and the fields, but, sort of much different, a little mirrory in the back. Not that's necessarily mirrory, but there's significant contrast there. A 3-cent nickel coin. This looks pretty special. I mean, are you just looking with an eye to see, like, what are cool coins for somebody to buy retail who's like maybe anywhere from a little bit more than beginner to, advanced?
Yeah, so with most proofs, you're really going to want to, what I would say is that I'm looking for maybe a dealer that would like this or someone that's a 3-cent nickel collector, and that's who you're going to, try to placate to. And this one's a little bit more of a higher grade, so you'd be talking to someone that, is very avid about collecting these. The cool thing about, coins that are 66, 67, 68 is that there's not very many hairlines, there's not very many distracting spots. Cameo is very apparent on the coin. If there was any of those spots, I think Cameo might have been stripped from this coin. But there's a little bit of toning on the face and on the reverse, on the bottom of the rim there. But other than that, the coin is very special, nice grade, and I just think that it was a great pickup.
Cool. And it says right there, 840. What do you sort of anticipate selling this coin for?
So about a year ago, I think this one sold for, I think 860. And so getting this one under the most recent auction comp is great because, we probably can make about 50, 60, $70 on the coin, but I think it's a fast mover. I think it's a beautiful coin, and that's the goal of buying coins. You want to buy ones that are beautiful and things that can move quickly.
Makes sense. Well, great perspective there. I think these ones were some, I just wanted to cover early in the video because I thought that they were beautiful. Mint State 65 with the full head. That's going to, again, for the beginners, we're looking at Liberty's head. I believe it's like, full cap and then clear eye and ear hole. Maybe that's off, but, these are like really sharp strikes. And then also Mint State 65. How do they compare to each other, and what was your mentality with these?
So I ended up buying a few other coins from Ted at Grapevine, which is a local show near us in Dallas this past weekend. And so I messaged him because I really couldn't afford to pick up the rest, which were these two coins. And we ended up arranging a deal on these, which ultimately led to us going to his house and working with him. But the reason why I bought these coins is because they're very sought after, early date SOQs. One's a 17S Type 2 and 65 full head. Just a little bit tougher of a coin to find. And this one's a little bit nice because it has some interesting toning to it, a little bit of a pink and tannish look to it. Also has a nice true view to boot. And so I thought it was just a nice original coin. I don't think it's been sent to CAC. So a lot of things going for this one. And if we take a look at the second coin here, a 1920 SLQ, same grade. This one has a little bit more of a blast white appearance to it. Really nice original luster, and you just really can't go wrong with great coins like this. They're a little bit pricey, but I do think they're really great coins to move and work with.
Awesome. No, they definitely have that appeal. Now, you talked about trying to move things quickly. How does sending things to CAC fit into that picture? How do you think about locking up a pretty big, $1,300, $2,200 coin and having it in the mail and sitting somewhere for, I don't know, 2 months? What do you think?
So I think there's a few variables that people have to consider. One is sending it to CAC and having your capital tied up worth it. We sent an 1831 cap bust half in AU58 to CAC this past week, And we bought the coin for around $650, and that's the coin's not going to be on screen, but it's something you guys can look up. We paid $650, and the coin sells for around $750. The cool thing about this coin that it was very original, and so the last one that ended up selling, an AU58 CAC, sold for around $1,250. So having that, you weighing the odds of what someone will pay with a CAC sticker on it, really ends up allowing you to think about, is it worth holding off for 3 weeks? And so that one was worth it, and there's a few others from the personal collection. But these ones, I think, we'll probably make 10%, maybe 15% on these, and they're going to be good to go. If we bought them a little bit better in terms of their price and we thought they could upgrade possibly, that's something that's also on the table. So a lot of things to consider when looking at one coin in specific.
Cool, cool. No, thank you for that added bit. I think, you talked about some AU cap bust coins. This one's a small letters, 1832, half dollar. Really like how the toning looks there, on the rim. And I think the wear is like almost pleasing, adds a little character to it. But looks like you paid $450 for it. And what's the mentality here? Also, in terms of, why, is AU coin something that you feel like good eye appeal AU resonates with your collecting base, or we saw some very high grade staying Liberty quarters, or do you sort of have a mix of everything?
Yeah, so it really just depends on the coin, but I think that offering an AU and then an MS type of variant in terms of your inventory is great because you can work with people that want mint state coins or work with people that have a budget of $500 or less, like this one. This one's about the peak of retail for AU58, AU55 small letters, but this one has really great originality and the rim toning really adds value to it. And so that's something that you can work with when you're selling cap bust halves. If there's something that sticks out to you, like its originality or its color, like this one, you can add a premium to it.
Cool. No, that's great. And another one that jumped out at me, we've been talking about CAC a little bit earlier, 1913D, PCGS Mint State 63 with what I think is just an extraordinarily clean face and appearance for the grade. Obviously, CAC agreed $1,300 was the purchase price, or probably somewhere close to it. I'm not sure how it actually ended up working out, but is there a different approach with something like this? Would you ever crack it out and try to get it to upgrade?
I think this one's great for the grade. There's a few scratches below the chin, which are very, very hard to pick up. I don't think you can pick them up, but they're right there, as you can see by that star.
Yeah, yeah.
And there also is some kind of striations that are going horizontally across the face. And that was basically because someone put it in an album and it rubbed up against the kind of the inner workings of that album. And that's what took away from the grade primarily. The reason why we bought this coin is because it is CAC approved, and the thing about barbers and the thing about cap bust halves, we talked a little bit about earlier, but CAC approved coins with their originality end up going for 20%, 30%, 40% sometimes more in value because of their originality and how hard it is to find them CAC approved. And the reason why that is because a lot of these coins were messed with. A lot of them were dipped out, or they were cleaned, or people tried to take a mark off the cheek, or they were just treated like crap. And so getting a coin like this, Mint State 63 CAC approved, it's an extraordinary coin.
Really, really cool. No, thanks for sharing that added bit. I think another thing a little bit off the beaten path, we see a star grade here, so that's something unique to NGC. I heard maybe they have it copyrighted. I'm not sure, but that's something that only they do. Is that just for the eye appeal, and maybe they don't want to call this proof-like or cameo or something, but instead, it would be proof-like, but they just give it a star, or why do you think they did that?
So the reason why they did is because of the eye appeal of the coin. But the obverse really is a proof-like, in my opinion. But if you take a look at the reverse one more time, it doesn't have that proof-like appeal to it. So most of the time when they honor or give out a star designation, it's going to have that proof-like appeal on either one side or the other. And another reason why they would give a star out is because of maybe a really nice color on the coin that's very vibrant. That's something that you also see at NGC.
Okay, great. No, it's fun, and again, different strokes for different folks in terms of varying the inventory. We see a older copper coin, 1834 half cent. I think it's the only non-silver one in today's video. Or that's not true. There's the, but only non-gray colored coin. Really nice eye appeal, I think, in terms of just like great lustrous appeal. So could you give us a little more on it?
Yeah, so we don't really mess with copper too often, but when we saw this one at Ted's table at Grapevine, we thought it was really nice. had some still nice remaining reds on the coin. You want, so there's those three kind of designations they give. They give brown, brown, and red. And so this one was given a brown designation on its grading. But I think that with those remaining reds in there, it really does give someone an added value to the coin. And so this one, having those reds and those browns in there, and I think it's just a stunning coin, very issue free, nothing that would make it bad. And so I love the coin. I hope it does well, and something that we're experimenting on for sure.
Very cool. Very cool. I think we got a few more here. Maybe I'll pick up with this, Mid-State 61, a little bit of a lower grade, but I think, pleasing, different colors on the toning, arrows, seated dime. And, was it the toning that attracted you to it, or what's your strategy?
Yeah, so I enjoyed the color of the coin. Not too happy about like what the grade is on it, but I do see that many of these aren't available for auction, and so a great sweet spot to have is if you pay even sometimes strong or what auctions used to pay for before. So I think the last one that sold was for around 400, and so we paid $400 for this coin. But understanding that there's sections in time for auctions where people can get a coin for a good price rather than having this available all year round for maybe 400 or 450, 440, something like that. But what drew me to this coin is the arrows. It's just a harder thing to find, and the color of the coin.
Cool. And for those of you, I want to say that this is right. If you know better, correct me. But the arrows, there would be some very minute changes in the silver weight or the weight of the coin. So they would indicate for a few years that this was different from the recently released ones with the arrows. And sort of a little fun fact about numismatic or U.S. numismatics, how we would when we cared about the silver or just precious metal content of the coin. So we've got a few coins left. I think all exciting stuff. But 1936S. Mid-State 65, probably slightly better date here. 575 was the price, and it's blast white, pretty coin.
Yeah, so most of the time when you're looking for great coins, especially with tougher date walkers like this one, you're going to want one that's blast white, doesn't have any distracting spots, or you're going to find one that's maybe beautifully toned, something that gives a little bit of character. But I think there's a lot in the middle between those, and they sometimes can look ugly or distracting. This one really is blast white, which drew me to the coin, and I do think it'll fit nicely in some, collector's set.
For sure. After that, we got another Barber. I always think that these are just sort of gorgeous in Mid-State, and I've never owned one until recently in Mid-State. But Mid-State 64, 15D quarter. It's got a neat sort of a luster pattern, I guess, if that makes sense. But is that common in terms of looks on blast white, or it's not really blast white, but Mid-State?
Yeah, it's common on that kind of find. You could see that mainly on the quarters. Maybe it's just how they were struck and the reflectivity of the coin. So when the light hits it, it's almost like jagged edges, and that's what small little jagged edges on the surfaces of the coin. So the way the coin kind of reflects with the light makes it a very interesting way that it was struck, and that's just something that kind of pops out with Barbers. But a nice 15D Barber quarter. Really enjoy the luster of the coin, and just don't see these too often. Had to buy it, and really do like it.
Nice. Well, we got two Morgans. One really nice looking one that's a little more circulated. We'll go with the PL coin. Probably maybe what you had mentioned was that PL coins are tougher in certain dates. Is that factoring in here?
Yeah, that's correct. So this one, New Orleans mints are a little bit tougher to find, especially with kind of a deeper, proof-like eye appeal on the coin. And so this one, I bought for around $200, and I think that it's probably worth about $225, $230. But a lot of the proof-like collectors are hunting for proof-like coins that are a little bit tougher of years to find. And this one kind of fit the mold. It was an affordable piece, and I think someone will enjoy it.
And when you buy a $200 coin, are you looking for a little bit more than 10%, or do you think you'll sell it for $220, or are you going to try to do $240, or maybe you're looking for $201?
Yeah, so it just really depends on the coin itself, but if we can find the right collector for it, I do think this one probably could be a $240 coin.
Nice. Yeah, and that makes sense to have a little higher margins on the slightly lower dollar items. Like this one, which will be a little bit pricier, would think 1895 O XF40. Looks XF40 to me, and better date. Obviously, anything 1895 is going to be rare for the viewers out there. So, I think the lowest grade of anything we've seen today. Was it just, you feel like there's a lot of Morgan collectors that would be buyers on this type of stuff?
Yeah, I think this one is reasonably graded and it's reasonable in terms of its price. And so I think this one, a $650 coin isn't too bad. And I do think that it's a mid-tier type of coin. A lot of the 95Os we're going to see these days are AG3 or G4, and there's just something with less, not very much detail. This one, like I said, a mid-grade, affordable, and is a better date for the series. Someone will really like this coin.
Great. Well, thanks so much. I mean, yeah, highlights of a $13,000 collection or coin buy, really not a collection, but a coin buy. And I'm sure a lot of the viewers will, and people on your channel and people doing business with Akusha Collectibles going to be excited about some of these new purchases to purchase for themselves.
Yeah, I hope they enjoyed this video.
Thanks for watching the video. Be sure to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to Treasure Town, and get in touch with me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, check out my website, treasuretowncoins.com, for news and updates related to the channel and collectibles in general. Lastly, there's a link tree in the description with links to all of my other sites, as well as some affiliate links that can support the channel. But with that being said, have a great day, and I'll hope to see you on some of my videos in the future.